Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your favorite 4 p.m. on a Sunday live stream, somewhat 3D printing related, with a guy in an upstairs and a guy in the basement and a guy in the U.S. and a guy in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, if you haven't yet figured that out. And as always, we have James from Print and Play.
Hello, everybody.
So you guys, some of you guys know that James and I get in here a little bit early and we chit chat for a few minutes before the show just to kind of, get everything rolling. But no, not today. James is all like, I'm on Canadian time. I'll be there at 4 minutes after 4.
So Kay and I are working on a new business together, and she and I were working on the website and some product stuff. And then all of a sudden she's like, it's 10 to 4, right? I was like, I thought it was like before 3, but thanks.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was outside working on Christmas lights most of the day, and I'd come in and it's pretty warm here. And I came in and I was just kind of overheated, and I went and laid down under the ceiling fan for a few minutes, and I started to nod off, and I thought, well, I gotta get up. That's not going to be good. I can't take a nap this close to the stream.
Little did you know I was going to let you down.
What's that?
I said, little did you know I was going to let you down.
Right. Well, as long as I'm on time, that's the important part. I would have just started the stream, and then when you popped in, I would have just popped you in live. So, but we got some people with us. There's that guy, and those people. Hi, those people. Oh, let's see. We got Freddie and Lars in here, and Bob Carnes is here. Clint is here. Alan Osborne, my friend Matt, is here.
There's a girl that I hooked up with in chat. So
there's a girl that you hooked up with in chat. I won't tell you. You better be careful though, because your wife is in here. Thomas is here, and Nadav. David Randolph is here. We are going to have David. Did we decide when that was happening?
I left it up to him. I said, we do this every Sunday. Pick a Sunday that's good for you, and we'll...
Excellent. Yes, Dave is going to be a guest host on the show, which we're looking forward to that. We get to ask him all kinds of down and dirty secret questions, like...
Can we have our own filament colors?
What's that?
Like, can we have our own filament colors?
Right. Like, how is filament made, and what's the secret to, being rich like you are?
Any new glasses? These are pretty scratched.
Yeah, mine. The I don't even know why, but they're black plastic, and then there's like a glossy coating, and the glossy coating's coming off. So I like find pieces of it all over my face. But I only pay $1 for these at the dollar store, so it's all good. Dave said, Christmas lights before Thanksgiving? You're evil. No, it takes me a month to put them up. So they don't light until Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And
David Randall says, how about next Sunday in the middle of their Black Friday sale?
Do what?
David Randall says, how about next Friday in the middle of their Black Friday sale? That'd be a good time to be on.
Yeah, that'd be great. I have no issues with that whatsoever.
It takes all the pressure off us trying to be interesting.
Right, yeah. And then we can just plug all kinds of stuff. That sounded like a new subscriber, but I don't. It's so little on my screen I can't see it, and I didn't pull that up today. But thank you to whomever clicked that subscribe button, because it is always appreciated. I'll find out who it is in a minute and call you out to everybody else. I mean, unless you got some kind of a weird, dirty screen name.
I have a project for you and I to work on together today a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't get a chance to talk to you beforehand, but
no, you're late.
I need to design clips to hold our Christmas lights to the railing.
Okay.
And I hear that you have a little bit of experience putting up Christmas lights.
I do, and a little bit of experience building clips to hold Christmas lights to the front of my gutters.
Yes. So I figure maybe you can help me through any of the pitfalls I might come across, unless it's super straightforward, in which case, don't need you.
Okay, so this is weird. Dollar and a donut if you can guess who the subscriber was.
David Randolph.
Brian Vines. Why would Brian Vines not already be subscribed to me?
Maybe it unsubscribed him, because I've had all sorts of people contact me. Well, not all sorts of people, but I've had probably at least half a dozen people message me and be like, I was subscribed to your content, thought you stopped making content, then went to your channel and realized that, yes, you had stopped making content, but also I wasn't subscribed to you anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to keep a secondary list of the channels that you subscribe to and check it once in a while, because it does happen.
I'm trying to figure out where my project camera ended up. I really, like, on my list of things to do is this entire area from like where the camera is back. I need to take everything out of here, clean everything out. Right now, my work table is actually just a piece of like 5/8 of an inch melamine board with wood flooring that I've put atop of it, so it's got a nice look for filming on.
Right.
But it's got folding legs. Right, so like it's got those the braces like this, so you can't put anything underneath the table.
Right.
So
I end up banging your knees on it and stuff.
Exactly. So I've actually cut before because it started. We're getting our first like real snowfall today. I've cut 2x4 pieces to make a perfectly square frame underneath it to free up all that space. And I'm going to design. So I was looking at solutions for doing overtop filming, because I'm going to be doing a lot of like project filming and stuff where you need to be able to see my hands. And classically, I've just been putting the camera over my shoulder, tilting it down as much as possible, and then zooming in. And then I'm either working with the camera directly behind me where my chair is hitting it when I move, or I end up like straddling the tripod because I don't have anything to mount it directly over the table.
Right.
My other solution originally was to have an arm attached to the table, and then I'd move it over position. But every time I bumped the table, the vibrations would travel into that arm. And since it's all spring loaded, it would, it'd move around for quite a bit. So I'm going to build
a dog barking in the background
at my place.
Yeah.
No, there's a pie fan that's slowly dying.
Oh.
So it revs up, and then as soon as it hits a certain speed, it starts to lose traction.
It sounds like a dog barking.
Yeah, it's going rah, rah.
I was wondering if you got a dog being that you had cats. I mean,
that would explain all the barking.
That's pretty funny.
So I started looking for solutions for something to mount a camera straight down. And after seeing how expensive the professional solutions are, my new thing is that I'm going to buy some metal broom handles from the dollar store. And I'm going to print some brackets so that I can mount on either end of the table, and then crossbars across, and then have a sliding piece that allows me to put the camera right where I need it. And
I use electrical well, in fact, that's what this piece of pipe is right here. EMT conduit for a lot of goofy stuff like that. In fact, my lights that are across the front of me, that's what they're mounted to, is a piece of 3/4 inch EMT, or 19 millimeter EMT. Did I get that right? 3/4 is 19, right? I don't know. But
2 inches, I know 2 inches is 50 millimeters. So 1 inch would be 25 millimeters. So 3/4 would probably be
about 19. Yeah. So, and then my overhead camera is actually on one of those octopus. I don't know if this is going to work. I didn't test it today. Oh yeah. So it's on one of those octopus mounts it's just wrapped around my ceiling fan light.
That's perfect. So, I mean, like, I don't really care how it looks as long as it works, right? Like,
nobody ever sees it. It's
So I had a metal arm like I have for my microphone, and it just had a camera mount at the end of it. But like I said, I'd be working on something, and anytime I jar the table, it would go like this.
Right.
So I had all sorts of comments on my video saying, good content, except for the fact that the camera shakes every time you try to do anything. So
you just tell them that your camera has Parkinson's. It's going to shake. It's the way it is. Yeah, even my camera that I have in front of me, which is on a tripod, being that I'm upstairs, the floor isn't 100% stable, and if somebody walks by, it does kind of tilt a little bit. But
so we came up with the name for our laser etching company.
Okay.
It's called Epic Burns.
Epic Burns. That's pretty good.
And we secured epicburns.com and epicburns.ca.
Nice.
I was very shocked that epicburns.com wasn't actually already a thing.
That's true, because I mean it's really hard to get good .com names anymore.
It is.
I did like the what was it, Burning Sensations?
Yeah.
I really
Burning Sensations, the Burning Sensation, Sensational Burning.
That was good, but Epic Burns is also good. So I'm actually going to be sitting here playing with Christmas lights while we chat today because I'm behind schedule.
I might have to go dig out a string of Christmas lights to figure out what the size of the part where the light's going to be mounted on it needs to be. I took measurements of the railing. The railing isn't a perfect rectangle. It's got a little bit of style to it, but right. I think my feeling right now is I'm just going to ignore said style and just have a clip that sits out flat on top, and then I'm going to try and get enough flexibility in it that I can basically have two pieces that pull in from underneath like this, and it just holds
yeah,
it.
I would think PETG would do fine.
And that's my goal if I can ever print some PETG properly. For those that don't know in chat, I have a long history of failing with PETG on stuff that people are like, just print it and go. It's going to be fine, Glenn.
That's why I always tell James to print in PETG, because I rock in PETG and he doesn't.
It's true. No denying it.
Tony Ryan said, floor not 100% stable. You are not 100% stable. I won't argue with that.
He wasn't saying anything contradictory to that. What else do I want to do today? I want to kick off a print of the keyboard for the Commodore 64 Pi case. I need to get back into filming stuff. I got caught up a little bit. I released so those in chat that are subscribed to me and have notifications turned on.
Which is nobody.
Did you get a notification about the video that I put out on, I think, Thursday? It was the Arduino one. Because when I look at the metrics for it compared to other videos, like for the number of the number of ones that came in from notifications and stuff, it is like significantly lower. And it's actually the first video I've put out, and I don't know how long, that has less than 100 views on it.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
And less than 100 views on a subscriber base of, what am I at? 3,200, 3,300, something like that.
Oh, the Elegoo Super Starter Arduino kit?
Yes.
Yeah, I got notification of it 3 days ago.
Okay. I just want to find out whether it's people aren't interested in that content, in which case I will adjust accordingly, or if it was a YouTube issue.
Well, they just know you're a shill, and you're shilling for free stuff.
I have 4 or 5 videos planned around Arduino stuff, and hopefully by the end of the year. And if nobody's going to watch them.
I understand. No, you know why I think I missed that is because I've been logged into my personal YouTube account on my main computer because I have car stuff on that account, and I've been watching car stuff. And then my 3D is part of my Fun King 3D account.
For everybody that got the notification and didn't watch it for whatever reason, don't worry about it, because I see Mike apologizing for not watching. I'm not concerned about it.
No, the concern is to make sure that YouTube is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes, because if it got sent out to people normally and nobody's actually that interested in seeing it, then, I won't waste my time.
Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm subscribed off of both of my accounts to you. So then I don't know why it wouldn't have showed up over there. I'll have to double check that.
So Tony Ryan said I need to do a follow-up video actually making something, which is what's in progress in my hand right now. So I'm going to describe what's on here, and we'll see who can guess what the project is. So it has 4 different colored lights. It has 4 buttons. And it has a speaker. And that is the overall basis of the project.
It's a drive-through ordering system. No?
Incorrect.
I was trying to think of something really obscure, but if I would have said that and you'd have been like, yeah.
50 points, from Gryffindor. Wow, good guess. Right off the bat, Mike, never let the machines win, said Simon, and that is exactly what I am building and programming.
Yeah, I actually already knew because you told me.
I don't remember who I tell what. Maybe that's how Mike knew.
Chris Lane says he's stopping by briefly because that's all the longer he can handle us. I can only handle us briefly too, Chris. I don't blame you.
I can only handle us debriefingly. Is that how you say commando?
Lars is asking, how often do I need to replace light strings because of dead diodes? It really kind of depends on where I buy them from. I've gotten to the point now where I'm buying commercial grade lights. And in fact, they've now started to refer to them as theme park quality lights, which means that when they go bad, you throw them away and buy new ones because that's what the theme parks do. But the better quality ones do last quite a bit longer, but it's not often. This year I replaced all of the icicle lights on the front of the house, but the old ones were already like probably 5 years old. So,
sorry.
That's all right.
Got the Rona.
That's not even a funny joke, James.
I have to trust your judgment because you're the Funny King 3D.
These that I'm putting in, these are actually RGB pixels. These aren't just regular. These aren't regular Christmas lights.
I just realized I should have. Sorry, good.
They're unbelievably expensive Christmas lights.
Switch to.
And making these pipes was a complete and utter chore. Because you can't drill them before you bend them. You have to bend the arch into them before you can drill the holes, because otherwise the holes will misshapen as you're rolling the pipe. So you have to roll the arch, and then I have a jig that goes in my drill press, so that I can drill all these holes. But the holes on one side has to be slightly larger than the hole on the other side, because it locks in. Let's see if I can give you guys this can't be in autofocus mode, but there's a lip right here that it locks onto, but then the body is larger. So it's fun.
Don't shame me for my large body.
I'm not a large body shamer, I swear.
I don't know. My throat's got a freaking tickle in it. No. All the jokes I made about catching Rona are going to catch up to me.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've had, I think, 2 friends this week message me to say that they've got it.
Icicles on a house in Florida. Lies.
I'm assuming that's because that literally happens all the time.
They're just prettier. It's more lights per linear foot. Yeah, I'm trying not to focus too much on this so I can watch the chat at the same time. I kind of figured this was dumb
I've
business.
got chat open on one screen, so I can just turn my head, look at it. I'm going to start printing the keyboard for the C64 case first, and then I'll get into the design phase. I really need to replace that fan.
Yeah, it really sounds like a dog barking.
So, this Thursday night, I got almost no sleep. And Kay was spending the night at one of her friend's places. And my plan had been, before not getting any sleep, that I was going to get a bunch of the project work I needed to get done caught up on. And I have to finish that 2-player arcade cabinet, which one of the catches is I have it up and running now,
Right.
But the problem is once I get it up and running and I start testing it, will they still
Testing
work
phase
after?
is always the longest phase.
What? Yeah. It's like, yeah, the buttons work, but will they still work after an hour of playing? Oh, too bad. Got to find out. Um, so I was going to finish it Friday night. What had happened a couple of days ago, or maybe weeks ago at this point, which I'd forgotten, is that Bo had jumped up onto our coffee table where this arcade cabinet's currently residing. And I've designed these slide-in clips for the top of it that'll hold the marquee in place. And I've designed it so that they can slide in and out by like 7 or 8 millimeters, so that you can have a variable thickness of plexiglass or whatever. Like you're not stuck with whatever I used. So this was sitting on the coffee table. Bo jumped up onto the coffee table and then batted it off the coffee table onto the floor, onto the carpet, and it landed in a black section of carpet. And then Kayleen stepped on it and snapped it.
Oh, that was really mean of her.
Yeah, she hates me and the things I try to do. So I went, no problem, I'll have to print another one. So I come downstairs Friday night at like 7. I'm like, I'm just going to get this part printing and then I'm going to go finish watching. I've been watching Deep Space Nine. I had 1 episode left. I'm like, I'm just going to get this printing and then I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to watch the last episode of Deep Space Nine. I'm going to be asleep by like 8 o'clock and get caught up on my sleep. I'm down, start the print, doesn't even get through. So the first print doesn't stick to the bed. I'm like, okay, well, it's been a month since I ran it's one of my CR10s and it's got auto bed leveling. Like, it's been a month, so, the humidity and stuff's different down here. So I get it dialed in for the first layer. Doesn't even get through the first layer, and I look over and it's pushed the Bowden tube out from the extruder. So every time it pushes plastic, it's actually just pushing the Bowden tube further and further away. So I go back over, I take it, and I'm like, I do remember that I had been trying to remove the Bowden tube for something else beforehand, so maybe I didn't, relock it. So I stuff it back into place, I pull the thing forward, I put the C-clip back in, I yank on the Bowden tube, I'm pulling on it, and it doesn't move. So I'm like, okay, we're good. Start the print off again, look over 5 minutes later, it's pushed the Bowden tube out again. So then I'm trying to pull the Bowden tube out of the hot end and it's stuck in there. I can't get it, which means I'm going to have to do a full teardown to basically get it pushed through because it's one of the E3D V6s where the Bowden tube coupler is integrated into the design. It's like the knockoff ones use one that screws into the top.
Right.
So then I'm like, nope, got another CR10. It's going to do the work. Then the other CR10 had a jam. And so previously, I had completely torn down the one that had the jam in this case. I had completely torn it down, replaced the extruder gear, replaced the idler bearing, replaced the Bowden tube, the hot end, basically the entire filament path, because it had jammed. Okay. So I replaced everything, put it back together, and I swapped from a knockoff V6 to a genuine V6. And it jammed within 30 seconds of me trying to print with it again, and it jammed in the exact same way where it's not a total jam, but the filament path is basically, it almost feels like it's too tight, so it's not able to push filament through at the right rate. So that was 3 months ago, and I just gave up on it at that point because I had already sunk 2 hours into doing all the work on it. So now I turn my attention back to it, and now it's 9:30 at night, I think, by the time I've finished fighting with the other CR10. I did a bunch of other stuff too to try and get the Bowden tube freed up and all that stuff. Because I don't want to sound like I spent 2.5 hours on one thing. But finally, I replaced the nozzle again on the second CR10, and then it worked. So I'd put a brand new nozzle on already, and it jammed after 30 seconds. And also, it's been jamming on different filaments, so it's not like, oh, well, one brand of filament's out of spec or whatever.
Right.
So it was just... I think by the time I got to bed on Friday night, it was partially due to my own fault, because then a friend had messaged me and hey, if you're around, do you have time to chat? And the chat ran 2.5 hours. I think it was 1:30, and I didn't watch the last episode of Deep Space Nine. So I go to bed. Kay's not home for the night. I wake up at I don't know what time. It was a terrible night's sleep again. And so Kay messages how'd you sleep? I'm oh, still not well. And so while I'm talking to her, I passed back out. And it was 9 o'clock, and I wake up at 11:30, and I've got panicked messages from her because I said I'm not feeling well when I woke up, and then I just stopped responding. So she thought I was dead.
Wow.
Insurance was halfway through the payout before I was like, wait, I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet. You're not fooling anyone.
It's but a flesh wound.
Well, my weekend last weekend, the reason that we didn't end up streaming, every year I go rent a bucket lift, a boom lift, to put the lights up on the house, because it, instead of 3 days worth of work, it makes it like 3 hours worth of work. It's
because you're not constantly up and down in the ladder and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, and my wife keeps telling me I'm old and that I shouldn't be climbing ladders anymore, which I did. Well, I'll get to that story in a minute. But I went and rented the boom lift from Home Depot like I do every year. And I'm going to totally call them out to all 20 people that are watching us right now. I went and rented the boom lift, got it home, got it parked where I needed it, leveled it out, climbed up in the bucket, and it was broken. The pendant in the bucket was broken, and it wouldn't work. It was flashing a trouble code. So I called the store, and the store told me I had to call an 800 number, and then the lady at the 800 number said that like she needed the address where I was in case they had to send a technician out, and then I started to kind of lose it. I said, at the point that you have to send a technician out, I'm taking this thing back to the store and getting my money back. And so after I messed around and they couldn't reach the technician, and the technician was going to call me back, and I'm losing daylight, and I took it back to the store. I will never rent from Home Depot again. I mean, the guy just, like, he had the personality of cardboard to begin with, but like, not sorry, or can I give you a discount and give you a different one? Nothing. Just like, too bad, so sad. Get your money back. So then I called another local rental place who just happened to have one. And the cool part is they're closed on Sundays. So I rented it Saturday morning and got to keep it all the way till Monday morning. And it was $100 cheaper. Oh, when I went to Home Depot, first of all, they didn't have the size I wanted. I wanted a 35-footer. They only had the 50, which is $100 more. So then I go to the other rental place. It's $100 cheaper, and I get it for 2 days. So they're my new rental place.
What size was it? The 35-footer?
No, the 50. It was the big one. So that's the reason that I didn't end up streaming last week, was because I had the bucket for 2 days, and I took advantage of it. I pressure washed the house, and she keeps telling you that you're old because every year you forget. Every year I forget every 10 minutes. But along with that story, when I had come back from Home Depot on Saturday, from returning the broken piece of crap that they rented out, I just told her I'm going to do it off of the ladder. That's how I used to do it. I'm just going to do it off the ladder. So I went and got the ladder out of the shed and brought it around and put it up on the house, and realized that I couldn't reach where I needed to reach. Because it's a long story. It really is. I was installing hurricane hardware in the front windows so that when the storms come, I have an easy way to bolt, hurricane panels over my windows. For those of you who don't live in hurricane areas, it's a mess. But so I needed to be able to reach the front of the window, which I couldn't with the ladder. So that's when I called the other rental place. So on Sunday, when I went to put the ladder away, because I just left it lay in the yard for the day, I go to put it away on Sunday, and I'm carrying it into the shed. And as I bring it in, I'm between the ladder and the wall of the shed, and some stuff started to topple over. And I went to catch that, lost my balance, got hung up in the ladder, fell over the ladder, bounced a couple times on the shed floor, which is raised, and then I rolled down the ramp out into the yard. And of course, the first thing I do is look around to make sure nobody's seen it happen.
You saw it.
So So my legs are all scratched up and bruised real bad. And then my doctor's appointment was on Thursday this week, and I'm sitting on the table, and he's listening to me breathe and whatever. And then he looks and he goes, "What is wrong with your legs? Why are they all scratched up and bruised?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So I had to tell him the story. I said, "Look, I fell, but it wasn't because I'm old." So
I just started a print, and the nozzle is too close to the bed, so the extruder's skipping occasionally. But I'm too lazy to go fix it because I'm positive it's going to stick.
I had a printer that would do that every time you printed. It was called Fingerface.
I say that I'm sure it's going to stick, but I better make sure it's actually putting down some plastic.
No, Matt, technically I fell over the ladder. I wasn't actually on the ladder when I fell.
Everything.
Yeah, it was a weekend. I said it's kind of like it was 2020 all wrapped up into Saturday. Was how rough my day was. I ended up Saturday night. I went to Lowe's because Lowe's is running all of their Black Friday sales for like a whole month. And
I remember when Friday was only one day a week.
What's that?
I remember when Fridays were only one day a week.
Right. No, now it's Black November.
I'm just waiting for the Black Fridays in July sales to start now.
Oh, that'll happen soon enough. But Lowe's has a deal. I mean, I think Home Depot has pretty much the same deals, but Lowe's has a deal where you buy, I'm a DeWalt fan, and not because they're black and yellow, though that does help.
It's not as
they had a deal where you buy 2 5 amp hour batteries, and you can pick a bare tool for free, which the bare tool was the same amount as the batteries. So it was kind of like, got 50% off of both of them. So I went in there to get that, and it said on their website that they had 28 of them, and I couldn't find them. I found the tool, but I couldn't find the batteries. So you know how sometimes when you go into a retail establishment and you ask an employee to help you out, like, you have any more of these? And they're like, well, let me go check the back. And they disappear for 5 or 10 minutes. Then they come back out and then they're like, no, we don't got any. And they didn't even look. They just went in the back and like played a game on their phone or something for 5 minutes. So
they just need to check you up.
Yeah, exactly. So I find this guy whose name is Guy.
Hey, Guy.
He works at my local Lowe's, and I asked him, and he said, well, I'm not really sure. Let's go talk to, and I forget who he said we were going to go talk to. And he's like, he knows where everything is. So we go, and that guy's not there. And so we're talking to customer service, and customer service said, well, maybe it's a Black Friday only sale. And I'm like, you don't have a Black Friday only sale. It's already active. And they're like, well, maybe they're holding it until Black Friday. And I said, look, I can order it online right now, and for store pickup in 30 minutes. You'll have to go find them then. So, and the whole time that I'm talking to customer service, Guy is looking for them. And he looked for them for a whole hour and managed to find them in the aisle where the ladders are, because that's where I'd put them. And so I ended up getting what I went for. But just the fact, he went definitely above and beyond to find those batteries for me. So I filled out the online survey to make sure that I gave him mad props. And then I went in.
Fired for being 30 seconds late from a break by now, though.
Well, they probably fired him for taking so long looking for stuff.
Yeah.
But I went in last night and bought the same set because I wanted a different tool. So I bought another set, and I got a cordless jigsaw, and got home with it, went to open it, and seen that the box was taped shut with cellophane tape. And I just knew right then and there I was in trouble. And when I opened the box, it had been previously enjoyed, and it was missing, like it was just the saw. There was no paperwork. It was supposed to come with a free blade. There was nothing else in the box. And so it was definitely a return. But it had the plastic safety straps on it, the security straps so you don't steal it.
Mm.
Yeah, so somebody went through a lot to repackage that up and put it back out on the shelf. So I took it back today, and the lady's like, well, I'll just refund you your money. And I'm like, you can't. I got it for free. And so the guy from the tool department came over. It wasn't a guy this time. It was a different guy. His name was Ron.
It was non-guy.
Yeah, the guy named Ron. And he came over, and he's like, oh, I'll just get you another one. So he just handed it to me. He's like, you're good to go. Just go. I'm like, okay.
So then they called the cops on you.
Probably. I didn't care. I had the receipt.
Okay, I'm working on this piece that's going to be able to hold my stuff on the railing.
That's too bad. I already lost interest in that.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So how thick would you make the plastic? Keeping in mind I need to keep some flexibility in this.
Okay, so the ones that I have outside mounted to my gutter, which is PETG, are about 3 millimeters thick.
Okay, so let's start off with that.
And they're plenty strong. I don't know how much flex they have because the parts on it are pretty small, but this is tedious. I should hire somebody to do this because this job sucks. Or I should have kids and make my kids do it.
There you go.
Because they're always like, I want stuff. And then when you're like, hey, I want you to help me do stuff, they're like, oh.
I can picture Xander doing that.
That's an actual representation of what Xander does.
The sound you made was perfect.
Yeah. I was giving him crap. He was up here playing VR last night. And we were going to Lowe's. Well, the first thing I did, when I yell up at him, he's always like, I hear him say to his friends, hang on a minute. And then he comes over to the stairs and he's like, yeah. So like, he's a dick. Oh, he's a jerk.
He's a doink.
When he's talking to his friends about me. But then all of a sudden, he's all like nice and stuff when he's talking to me. But I yelled up the stairs at him last night and I said, Xander. And he goes, what? And I said, how often do you pick your nose? And he goes, hold on a minute. And he goes, what? And I said, we're getting ready to go to Lowe's. And he totally didn't know what I said, which was really funny. But yeah, Mr. Attitude over there. How dare you ask him to do anything that's not play video games?
You're the one that chose to procreate.
Yep. We all make mistakes. Is it too late to put him up for adoption?
You literally made a mistake.
Oh, and now he's going to cry himself to sleep tonight on his huge pillow. He said, I literally made a mistake.
You just blame your dad. Your mom helped too.
When a man loves a woman.
Or sometimes when a man and a woman have had too much to drink.
Well, not in my case. Oh.
So far my homemade Simon board has the ability to start up, generate patterns for sounds, and then play those sounds, but the buttons and stuff don't do anything yet. I was like, I'll get the general premise of coming up with a pattern. So there's 4 difficulties, which is match 5, match 10, match 15, match 20. So it basically starts up, generates random numbers 1 through 4, sticks them into an array of up to 20. And then the idea basically will be for me to build the logic that checks for the button presses and releases and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, so, I love Arduino. I do a lot of dumb little projects with Arduino because it's easy. The biggest downfall is because everything runs in a loop, it can get slow.
Yep.
When you start pummeling too much onto it. But I still like them.
I think the Arduino kit that Eligo sent me is legitimately awesome. I have a lot of things that I like about it versus some of the other stuff that I've been using. I think the most complicated thing for me is that I'm supposed to then design a case for the Simon game, and designing a case that's going to be able to hold the Arduino in such a fashion that it can be easily added or removed, as well as being able to handle all the electronics and stuff. Like I have stuff that when I'm building electronics project, I have buttons and stuff that I use because they're easy to design mounts for and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So having to stick to just the stuff in the kit, because the idea is that the video I'm doing for them is made of everything you can get from the kit plus a 3D printer. Anyways. Lars liked my video. That's good. It was fun to do. I filmed it 4 times before I got the unboxing to the point where
I think he was talking about the crack you made about me making a mistake.
Oh, okay. That's fair. The joke is funny.
Xander said he's going to unsubscribe from you, Dave.
Okay.
He said, just kidding. He was never subscribed.
Not bad.
Hey, Rover's here. Except for he got silenced because he came in here promoting stuff.
Who's that?
Rover. Why would it not let me show his... Oh, there it goes. Whew. I was going to say, if it denies me from letting people show stuff...
Kayleen wanted to call our business Major Lasers, but I was pretty sure that we'd get in trouble for that.
Major Lasers?
Yeah.
Why would you get in trouble for that?
Because there's a musical group called Major Laser.
Oh.
And she was riffing on that when she...
well, it wouldn't have been a very good name because I didn't get it. I gave her access to the file share on our network, and she's been working on designs for ornaments, and she named the directory Major Lasers anyways, and she's like, that's what we should call it. And I'm like, I don't feel like having to rebrand in 6 months when they're like cease and desist. You should name it Disney and Coca-Cola Burns stuff. And throw a Harley Davidson logo on it just for fun.
I'm gonna call it Major Phasers, and I'm gonna design a shroud that snaps around my laser that makes it look like a Starfleet Type 2 phaser or whatever, shooting beams down.
Oh my gosh, my arms are already killing me, and I'm like only 2/3 done with one, and I got another one to do after this.
David says, wait, I can't shamelessly promote myself in here? And then Matt Cox says, you can promote yourself, just not your business. So the way you promote for your brand will say, well, I am awesome.
Dave is not allowed to promote in here. That is our job. We promote Dave. Which, by the way, if you guys have not shopped at printedsolid.com, do yourself a favor and check it out.
Do yourself a solid. Check it out. See, companies need to start hiring me for advertising. I came up with the Gloop Troop thing for 3D Gloop.
I came up with Gloopies.
Instead of Groupies, yeah. I thought you were going to take credit for Gloop Troop, and I'm like, oh wait, we had this conversation when I came up with Gloop Troop.
Yeah, we were at Orlando Maker Faire, and I don't even know. I was laying in bed, like it would have been Saturday night, and I just busted out laughing to myself. And then Sunday, I went and I said to those guys, I said, listen, I'm going to give you a piece of gold, and you can use it if you want, and you don't have to if you don't want. And I said, but your fans should be called Gloopies. And so that's when they sent us. They had batches of shirts made, and we got our first shirts. We got the first Gloopy shirts. One of these days, I'm gonna try that product. I hear it sticks stuff together really good.
It won't help you out of sticky situations, but it'll help you create some.
Yeah, Zach always brings me his broken toys and asks me if I can gloop them back together. I'm like, I don't think it works that way, buddy.
Harley Martin is in chat and says, hey, Gloom.
What's that? Oh, Harley Martin. Hello, Harley. Long time no hear from in this time of coronavirus.
My Corona.
Clint wants to know how it's going with the FK1. It's going just fine. I haven't really proceeded with my project the way I wanted to, but that's because I'm in Christmas light mode currently. I have less than a week. I have to have everything done by Friday, and there's still a ton of wiring to do. Friends of ours came over yesterday and helped, which was quite beneficial because there's a lot of stuff that has to be carried out and stuff. So they did a lot of the hauling. And then they helped me get my big mega tree. I was going to take a picture of the yard today and show you guys just so you can see how far it's progressed. But my big mega tree takes pretty much a whole day to put up by itself. Lars said, I can't buy from Printed Solid, EU citizen. Actually, if you just give Dave your credit card number and authorization to put whatever he wants on it, I'm sure he'd be willing to ship you some stuff.
I do hope that at some point Printed Solid will be available in Canada. I know it's a nightmare to get stuff sent over here, so I'm not saying special dispensation or whatnot.
Yeah, but it won't be Printed Solid. It'll be Printed Solid A. Not available in Canada.
Printed frozen.
Harley said, every day I go by on the bus, I look to see what you have done. Some people drove by yesterday in a convertible, and they were applauding as they drove by. I thought it was just because I had cut the grass, but my wife thinks it's because we're putting out Christmas lights. I have two modes to my lawn. I have nice cut lawn that Christmas ornaments or Christmas decorations go on, and then I have that guy really needs to cut the grass and get those junk cars out of the yard. Dan is in the house. Hello, Dan. Red lights here. Rover, you have been missing for so long, man. It's good to see you still around.
He was avoiding you.
Probably. Well, and in fairness, I meant to apologize in the beginning of this stream. I did not shower before this stream, so if I'm stinky, I do apologize. But
I also didn't shower before the stream because I realized at 10 minutes to the beginning of the stream that it was 10 minutes to the beginning of the stream.
Well, I have more work to do after this stream. I have to go do some welding, so I wasn't actually going to clean up beforehand because I'm just going to get dirty again. So Zach came to me the other night, and he made some crack or comment about how he needed a set of bolt cutters. And I'm like, well, what do you need bolt cutters for? And he's like, so I can break into stuff. And I'm like, well, I have a pair of bolt cutters, buddy. If you ever want to use them. And he kind of looked at me, and I'm like, listen, if you ever want to use my tools, you just let me know what you're doing. And as long as you use them right and take care of them, you can use my tools. And he thought that was the most amazing thing ever. Like I'm going to tell him no. Don't give away the secrets, Harley. But yes, Santa will be here on December 13th at 7 p.m., as he is every year. It will be social distanced Santa because we don't want Santa getting sick.
I wish you hadn't told me because I was going to make the trip down just to see if now that I know that there's no reason for me to travel.
No, he's giving away who it is. Yeah, we have Santa here every year on the 13th. And it's a fun time. The last 2 years, it's been huge. And, some of you guys know I'm a little bit, I have social anxiety disorder. So I don't really like crowds. And then all of a sudden there's like this huge crowd at my house, which is a little unnerving to me, but it was okay. I just kind of stood. I have the area roped off so that people don't go out where my Christmas lights are. And so I stood outside of that border. So everybody else was trapped inside while I got to be out. But no, it's a good time. The kids get to come and see Santa. And Matt, oh, Harley, you didn't actually have to retract that. Nobody in here knows who Pork Chop is. So Matt said, I'm coming for Santa and destroy that barking dog fan. Well, you'll have to go to two places because Santa's coming to Florida and the barking dog fan's in Canada.
Tony wants to know what's wrong with using duct tape to hold lights on the railing. We actually usually use cable ties. And I thought maybe starting this year we'd stop being so wasteful. Because every year it's cable tied up and then every year it's cut them down. And this was the alternative to my suggestion of let's just leave them up all year round.
Yeah, is it an indoor railing or an outdoor railing?
Outdoor.
Oh, you can't leave them up all year round. They'll rot. Ask me how I know.
Ask me about our non-safety photos.
So, full disclosure, I love telling you guys all the inside secrets. I have some Christmas stuff out on my front porch, and people would stop by the house, the mailman and whatever, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're getting ready for Christmas already?" And I'm like, "Yep, that stuff's been out there since last year." It was stuff that I knew we weren't going to reuse this year. When I took it down, that's where it stayed. Like, yep, getting ready for the year.
Well met. Oops.
It's okay. I hate crowds and humans in general. Some of them are decent. A lot of them not so much.
Yeah, I like that James guy. Nobody likes him.
Well, Canadians as a whole. So our local news, which is really a rag if nothing else. They had a article, if you want to call it that, the other day about preparing to spend the winter without Canadian snowbirds. And they're like, business there'll be less people buying stuff, and because we're not going to have the Canadian snowbirds. And my whole thought was, well, maybe I'll actually get to go eat out this winter. Because usually you can't get into a restaurant around here
because there's too many Canadian snowbirds.
What's that?
Too many Canadian snowbirds.
Well, just too many snowbirds as a whole. I mean, I don't really know how many Canadian snowbirds we have over any other, but they are mostly from Ontario. And I said, well, at least it'll be easier to drive around because those people from Ontario can't drive.
I see how it is. Why don't you go after the maple leaf again?
Oh, no, I'm never making that mistake again. I love the maple leaf.
No, you're just making brand new mistakes.
I was kind of hoping they would change Florida's flower to the maple leaf.
I need to go find a string of lights because I need to take measurements off of the bulbs to do this.
5 millimeters.
It's always 5 millimeter?
Are they LED?
Well, I don't remember. I need to go.
Yeah, the socket's going to vary in size, but.
Socket to me.
Socket to me.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Those Canadian snowbirds are the worst when they start molting. Yeah, somebody once asked me, what was the best time to go out to eat around here, and I said sometime between like March and September. James is making clips to hold Christmas lights to a railing. Takes me a week or two to prepare myself mentally for crowds at Earth. Well, it's funny, Davis, the crowds at the 3D printing shows, like, I don't have any problem with that until I'm in the parking lot getting ready to go into the building. That's when the anxiety kicks in. Like the whole drive up and stuff, I'm fine, but that sitting in the parking lot takes me a few minutes to get out of the car and go inside. So, but then once I'm inside and then I realize I know everybody in there anyway, it's all good. So,
I'm back. Missed me.
Oh, I didn't even know you were gone. Did you go somewhere?
Yep.
We were entertaining each other by singing "Old Canada."
Oh, Canada. I know that whole song.
I would imagine you do.
And most of the United States ones.
And most of the United States ones?
Yep.
All right, I had one.
And that one that one they wrote for Team America World Police. I know that one too. I don't think I'm allowed to sing it on here though.
No, probably not. Well, we get demonetized every week now anyway.
Do we?
Yep. As soon as this stream is over, I'll have to go in and turn. It'll be limited, and I'll have to go in and turn or do a human review. That's been for like the last 6 streams now. I'm tired of YouTube. Tired of their attitude.
Okay, so these are the lights. I don't know if I can get.
Well, you'll have to give me a bigger. I can't see. You're tiny.
Let me get back to my camera controls here.
Good sound effects. You should have done like shush, shush.
All it's doing is dragging dust all over me because they've been sitting collecting dust, and they're all freaking. I'm probably going to regret trying to get just one up high enough that I can show it on camera.
Well, I've got you full screen right now, so I can pick my nose. I mean, so I can see what you're doing.
There are these guys.
Ah, C6s.
So
It would work really good for those zip ties.
What?
Zip ties.
Oh yeah. So I have an option. I can either try and make something that'll hold this upright, or I can make something that, because there's a clip built into them, so I can make something that basically just has something that clip can slide onto.
So, all right, metal railing, I assume.
No, it's wood.
Wood railing, okay. See, the fear of putting lights on a railing is then the railing doesn't work as a railing anymore.
So we have a front porch. So it's not like a railing running downstairs. It's like framing in our front porch.
Okay. So not a stair handrail.
No.
All right. So then, yeah, I would think that if you made something that clipped over the top with a hoop, that little clip would go into. Do you want them to stick out or up?
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping Kay's in chat, but she's probably not because I heard her running a bath.
Well, that doesn't mean she's not still in chat. I mean,
she's probably not, though. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't be.
The LEDs themselves are tiny, but they have because Tony Ryan said, "Wow, James has tiny hands, or those LED lights are huge." The LEDs are in fact very tiny on the inside because we've lost some of the caps. They just like the thing that looks like a Christmas light over top of the LED is quite large.
Hold that light up again. Let me see that light again. Give me a close-up of the clip.
A close-up of the clip.
Of the socket there.
I guess I feel like...
No, it's enough. I made you full screen. I can see it. Those clips are pretty useless.
Yeah, they're not great. They don't flex much and they get brittle.
Well, they're backwards to begin with. They should be the other way so that they can clip up underneath a... Well, I guess that would work for a gutter.
That's what they're designed for, I think. They're supposed to want a gutter like this.
But because of the size of the lens on there, the faceted plastic lens.
I'm going to message Killian and say, do you want the lights pointing up or down? And then I'll say it didn't really matter.
Well, not you don't want them down unless you're going to hang them under the railing, but, like out or straight up. David Ranoff said, by the way, everyone should give a shout out to Dan. He and his family are recovering from the R now. Would that be the Rona? I mean, regardless of what R means, thoughts and prayers to you, Dan.
Probably the arts, probably the Rona.
The Rona.
You know what's funny? I don't know if it's just Canadian thing, but we have what's basically like a Home Depot, but it's like it's the equivalent of Home Depot. It's called Rona.
That's actually the name of it.
The company's called Rona. Rona, the how-to people, is their motto.
That's a terrible act.
Yep.
That's kind of like back in the 80s, there was a diet supplement called AIDS, and then all of a sudden AIDS happened. That's the only time you'll ever hear me laugh after I say AIDS happened. So what kind of dog is that you got there? Is that sounds like a Chihuahua.
Something smaller than a Chihuahua. Kay says she wants them either pointing down or out.
Down and out. Down and out it is. So she can message you from the bathtub, but she can't watch us and be in the chat?
Yes. So if they're pointing down, it's going to be hard to secure them because they're pointing down.
Well, if you then did a clip that fit over the top of the railing with a like this sticking out that you could snap the socket into, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If I have to draw a picture for you, I will.
No, I get what you're saying. I guess I should take measurements of this first. Lately, I've been losing sleep. I'm always tired. These are 13.8 millimeter sockets.
Oh, the old 13/8.
Oh, maybe it's dead on 14. I think it's 14.
13/8, 14, whatever it takes.
So if I go snap, then it actually doesn't matter which direction. I just need to make sure the snap is tight enough to actually hold the whole thing, like hold the weight of it.
Right. Well, and then of course you got to think about print orientation as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have to use supports if you don't absolutely need to.
Let's. I'm trying to zoom in on my Fusion 360 thing by scrolling on OBS. Okay, I forget how thick I made this, but I definitely didn't make it thick.
Good thing they weren't 10 millimeter; they'd all be missing. Matt has the same kind of sense of humor that you and I do, James. If the three of us ever end up in a room together, the Earth could actually like implode in on itself.
Okay, so no matter how I design this, like it has to print in this orientation, or there has to be supports.
No, couldn't you print it like this way?
Like
with
that?
the clip sticking out.
Well,
Here, let me control your screen for a second. Oh wait. Yeah, up like that, and then have the clip portion of it sticking out one side.
Yeah, but then what supports these?
Yeah. You could design a support in there that just goes to the end of that, because you'd bridge that with no problem. You know, come off of each little tab.
Yeah, like basically
do like a tree type support down.
Yes.
No, I'd go straight down. I'd go straight down to the surface and then leave just a tiny gap in there. Every piece for the FK1 that required support, that's what I did. So that you didn't have to actually use supports, and then you could just snap out the one support that I put in.
Let's do 0.8. like that. And an 8 like that. I guess, so if I'm only doing 0.8, then I should have no problem snapping it off of here at the bottom. Right?
Well, I don't think that'd be an issue. I'd leave a gap. I'd leave leave a 0.1 millimeter gap between the support and the structure, or between the support and the main clip, so that when it goes to lay that, it's actually printing in air.
Right.
Then it'll clean off
so
a lot easier.
Oh, I did this one the wrong way.
But I don't really know anything because I don't ever print.
Yeah, get good going.
How far into the stream are we? An hour, and I'm not even done with one of these yet. And this is number 7 right here. And of course, that doesn't include the time that it took me to actually make these arches.
I'll probably, Lars asked if the bridge will be strong enough. I'll probably add an additional bottom layer just to be safe.
The what?
He's asking if the part where it bridges will be strong enough, because like the first layer basically doesn't contribute to the strength of the thing almost at all.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but I think you're going to be surprised at how not strong those have to be.
Well, they're not holding much.
And the part that's bridging is really there just to kind of keep it onto the rail. It's not even going to have much weight against it. You're only holding the weight of that light socket.
And a little bit of the wire.
And a little bit of wire. Which does add up, but not in that kind of scenario. Matt asked if I printed this hoop on the FK1. No, this is EMT conduit. This is 3/4 inch or 19 millimeter metal electrical conduit. Yay! Done with that one. One more. My arms are killing me from doing that.
We agreed you're going to make your kids do it.
Dave said do a single layer beam for the bottom so you can bridge the gap. Tony Ryan said print them on their side like you planned and use my tapered dovetail on Tinkercad to snap the lamp base holder clips into it. See, that's getting too fancy. Anytime you bring dovetails into it, whew. I loved that show, Dovetails.
Woo-hoo. Every day they're out there joining Dovetails.
I want the world to know that this is why I love James, because I can make dumb jokes like that and I don't even have to explain it.
I'm gonna go look up his dovetail design. Or just look up dovetail in general.
Yeah, use somebody else's. You don't have to actually use it.
So I'm trying to decide how this will work best, because I don't think a dovetail from the side is going to work, because they'll be prone to sliding off.
Not if you make them tight enough and put a little gloop in there.
I don't have any gloop. Gloop's been very difficult to find lately.
Oh yeah, I suppose not being in the U.S. Canadian problems. Got to break out my Filament Friday toolkit.
I don't know which way I want to go with this now. It will be a stronger part if I print it on its side, though. should switch back to chat. They use goose tails. Canadians use goose tails.
Break something swinging this thing around in here, but by the time I got done drilling these, the drill bits were pretty wore out. So sometimes they left fragments. So I'm using my Filament Friday 3D printing toolkit because it has this awesome reamer.
A reamer. Seasons don't fear the reamer. I just figured out having to do this. I'm not going to do it. I gave up.
You're not going to do it at all?
That's right. I'm just going to give up.
Just use zip ties? Couple Christmas seasons ago, I ordered a bunch of 4-inch zip ties, and when I say a bunch, I mean I ordered 8,000 of them. I'm at the point now where I need to order more.
Every day, they're out there making dovetails.
The problem with this is it leaves little metal shards now all over my bench and floor, which is bad for me in the diabetes and the cutting of the feet and all right, so let's great. And I mean, when I say that there's some metal shards, like this just came out of there. That'll focus. So yeah, good.
That's a lot of shards.
Good sized metal shards. But I don't have a very large collection of metric drill bits. So when I did this, I ordered step bits in metric for this project. And I didn't spend a lot of money on them, so they didn't last very long. Because I'm cheap. Or poor, one or the other. I can't remember which one it is.
Both. Why not both?
Why not both? Oh, what am I missing? Oh, Tony threw up a link to the Tony threw up a link to the dovetail, but it's not showing, so I will let that through now. I mean, he even kind of obscured the link by putting a space in it, and they didn't like it. Shameless plug. What? What was I shameless plugging? My Filament Friday 3D printing toolkit available on Amazon. I don't know if they're currently available, but I'll tell you what, it's a nice little kit to have. This is my go bag. If I have to go work on somebody's printer away from home, that's what I take with me. Because it has just about everything you could need in there besides a large hammer. Alan, if there's any one thing that I'm full of, it's shameless plugs. We'll just leave it at that. All right, so this one I have to actually dismount before I can remount them because I made this cool little board right here when I was learning how to configure pixels. And I wanted to have them here in my office. So I made this out of a scrap piece of, it's not MDF, it's particle board. Okay, he said, you best be printing them before the night's out. If I waited to hang lights for nothing, and we are now getting 20 centimeters of snow. Like 20 centimeters, that's not very much. That's only like this much, right? Centimeters are the little ones, aren't they?
It's a little over 8 inches.
Yeah, I gotcha.
You know, for anybody in chat that didn't know.
Oh, okay. It's funny, like, you know, again, I've been watching a lot of car videos, and actually I've been watching a lot of go-kart videos lately, but that's a whole different story. But it's amazing how many US based people now, when they do their YouTube videos and they reference a measurement, that they're also you know, throwing it on the screen or whatever in metric. So it's kind of nice for you guys that don't live in Imperial land.
I don't know how I screwed up here, but this is supposed to be a 90 and it is not a 90. Where did I? Right there. That's where I went. That should be square.
Oliver said the Filament Friday toolkit is available on Amazon, and if you guys would like to get one of those, I put a link in the chat. That link is an affiliate link, and it does help the channel grow. Costs you nothing additional, but we always appreciate it.
I mean, I don't, but you do.
That's how I bought my new Mercedes, was off of Amazon affiliates.
He means a model car. It wasn't even Hot Wheels brand. It was warm tires.
Well, not only that, but I'd never buy a Mercedes. It's one of the most towed cars in the world. If that tells you anything about them. They are not cheap to fix.
I don't know where I keep going wrong with this. This is weird. You know what? I don't even think I care enough. I'm chasing after a 0.007 millimeter difference.
Shame on you. 0.007?
Yeah.
Like Bond, James Bond?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd worry too much about that.
It's like my license plate. Some real weird deviations here now.
That dog has a very consistent bark. Like the timing on it, it's pretty consistent.
Inconsistent is a type of consistent. But you know, you're right. It is. It's pretty patterned out.
It is inconsistently consistent.
I don't. So here's the thing. This keeps coming off as at an angle. It's 91.5 degrees. So I had to have made a mistake somewhere else further back in the design for that line to not be straight. Right?
Yeah,
this one here.
Yeah, that's weird.
So what went wrong here?
Oh, just delete it and start over. You don't have that much time into it. It's not like you got to have them done tonight anyway.
It's not like my marriage is writing on this. So what she said is you better have this printing by the end of the night. So what I heard is spend all night working on your project.
Well, if you start printing them now, they'll be done in 2 days. How many do you have to have?
I don't know yet.
How many bulbs per strand?
Well, not every one is going to be in one of these. These are like there's gonna be one per second. I probably need 20 of these.
Oh, so you're gonna swag the lights, like not straight?
Not straight. We're not that fancy. We'll see. Maybe we will end up that fancy after if this goes well. Okay, is this one straight? Yes. So then
Mike said, I thought you'd have an Avatar license plate or a Titanic plate.
never get tired of those jokes. Oh, screwed up somewhere. Again. What am I doing wrong here? 4.55.
Wow, that muted Kay's comment. The YouTube must have thought she was talking about like with a noose.
$6.435. Okay.
I think YouTube's getting a little too woke. These ones are actually plugging in a lot easier than the last ones. I don't know if it's because I reamed the holes or if it's because I had these jammed into wood for a year. No, he doesn't have that kind of power, Kay. I would never give him that kind of power.
I'd never take away her voice, even if I had that power. I can show you a world. Okay.
Whew. It's making me tired.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Making my back hurt. I suppose I could go back to sitting downs now.
Let's make that 2 millimeters thick. New body. I think we're good now. I think just redoing everything was the way to go. Don't analyze why you screwed up. Just don't do it again.
Right. Just don't do it 2 times in a row.
I forget what size the circle was for these. It's a...
We got 31 watching and only 18 thumbs ups. Oh, now 20 thumbs ups. You guys are making me sad.
So the hole is 14-ish, 13.9, 14-ish. So I'm thinking about doing it 13 and then having it flexible so that it'll hold it. What do you think of that? Does that make sense to you?
Say it one more time.
It looks like the size for the whatever you want to call it on the lights, the socket is about 14. First of all, it's not consistent. I'm measuring this one, and it's showing like 13.8. The other one was 14 point something. I'm thinking about making them 13, so a millimeter smaller than they need to be, so that they'll, and then having like a clip mechanism at the end, so that they'll hold on to it well enough.
Yeah, open like a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a millimeter would be good.
Also, by doing this, if it doesn't hold it well, or if it holds it too well, I can just reprint this piece.
True. Well, I would think that you could put a little heat to it and open it up or even close it up. But unless it's all of them, then that would suck. But are those sockets tapered?
There is a taper at the top a little bit.
Okay.
Probably 2 millimeters of it is actually tapered.
So it comes straight up and then flares out where the bulb is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking then if it's not big enough, you can just kind of jam it down in there. Nothing a hammer won't fix.
Hammer
or the handle of a good screwdriver. Either one is fine. Hello, Maurice. Do you have the link for the ball end Allen wrench screwdriver handle? Please. Are we talking about these guys right here? These Let's see if I can get that Bond House. That set right there. I'm sure that I can find a link. I'm not sure as far as the shipping to Australia, though. That's the tough part.
How are you doing with this?
You guys kind of take a beating on everything when it comes to that. But if that is the set that you are speaking of, and if anybody else is interested in said set, there is a link to them right there. And that is also an affiliate link. Helps out the channel. Doesn't cost you anything more. And we always appreciate it. Which, by the way, if you guys are going to do your Christmas shopping on Amazon and you don't currently have anybody that you're supporting, you can click any of our affiliate links and then do all your shopping. And it helps us out. And doesn't cost you a thing more. And I won't even make fun of you for the things that you bought. Maybe because they don't tell me what those things are. And I do appreciate anybody out there that is using our affiliate links. I get about, I don't know, between $10 and $20 a month. It averages like 11, 12 bucks, but sometimes we have a big month and it'll get up to 20, and it does help. It lets me buy stuff for the channel and lets me buy toys for the kids.
I don't think I have any or nearly any affiliate links.
I use them when I can. I have the influencer store set up too, but I haven't been in there in so long I don't even know what I have in there. It was always just filament that I used, but the filaments that I use generally now don't come from Amazon anyway. They come from places like printedsolid.com.
Well, there's version 1 done.
That looks pretty good. That looks like it'll work.
Now I gotta load some PTG into that printer.
Now, how big are those tabs that stick out on the bottom?
These here, the ones with the these guys.
Yeah. Like, how long is that tab, and like how big is the gap in the middle? And do you think that you'll be able to pull that open far enough? It should flex open far enough.
So it's 26 millimeters, and it's 26 millimeters. Everything's basically around 26 millimeters.
All right.
But again, so, this should be a fairly fast print, I would think.
Inch. Yeah, I think you'd be all right with that.
I think I should be able to spread the thing 3 inches for the, and that should, because I'm trying to get it nice and tight so it doesn't like slide or move on the railing once it's on.
Right. Well, and you don't want it flopping, like when it's clipped on, you don't want it flopping this way either. So Dave said, "Oh, come on, we all know what site they should be shopping at." Yeah, you know, it'd be kind of cool if Printed Solid had an affiliate set up. I mean, I'm just saying.
It runs my Prusa. May have cut out. It does that from time to time. I'll just go to access it when I haven't been doing much with it, and just be like, "No, I don't feel like answering your questions today."
Well, if you would stop talking mean about it.
The Pi or the Prusa? Or the Pi
Yeah.
Prusa?
Both. They get together.
I got to switch to my textured sheet now.
That's a waste of good texture being you're printing that thing on the side.
Oh, my back hurts.
Now my front hurts.
This is what it feels like to get old. I'm gonna unsubscribe from getting old, not from life.
So I told him I was telling my neighbor about my tumble, because my shed opens to his yard. So if anybody would have seen me, it would have been him. But then he was telling me a story because he was in South Dakota recently, and they'd gone to this park, and He's got a couple years on me. He's a couple years older than me. And so he said that he went to run and jump up on this rock, and he got 1 foot up on there, but didn't have enough momentum to get all the way up, and kind of like started to fall back. And when he went to catch himself, his ankle folded under and he fell. And he said it wasn't so bad until he heard somebody like in the crowd go, "Oh my God, did you see that old guy fall?" Like, there's the insult right there. Not that you fell or anybody's seen it, but
It's like if somebody said, "Are you okay, sir?"
I said I would have jumped up and said, "Man, you'd think for a 30-year-old I'd have made it up there."
Let's see if we can get some PETG to stick
and
for me.
are the rails sharp cornered?
They are not.
I think you're being called out on your lazy design.
It's got a weird, like, it's got a somewhat like artistic look to the way that it's actually designed. So I'd almost need like a cross section to map it out properly. And again, if this isn't printing by the end of the night, my wife's going to disown me.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, it doesn't really need to have that kind of detail in a clip.
Right.
The most important thing is that the clip prints quickly, so that should one break, you can quickly print another one. That's a weird noise.
What was that?
That's a weird noise.
The
Oh,
beep?
the comment is, isn't it better to round the corners for better strength? Which is true, yeah. Oh, Maurice said that they will ship that to Australia. But there's only one set left. Here in the U.S., it's just marked in stock. So if you're in the U.S., still feel free to grab some. You won't take it away from Maurice. and of course, Maurice being here reminds me that I need to tell you guys that last Thursday they broke ground on our White Castle.
You're such a foodie, knowing all these special places to go eat.
Well, Maurice is the one that sends me the comments all the time that I didn't mention White Castle.
Has there anybody else hit the? I guess it's probably a bug in the firmware on the Prusa where you're doing a color, like a filament change, and it comes up and says, "Is this the right, or is the color changed, or whatever?"
Right, like, yeah, has it flowed enough to yeah, is the right color flowing?
So I usually do no twice, especially if I'm switching between like PETG and PLA or whatever, just to make sure.
Right.
But occasionally, so on the third one, I'll say yes, and then it'll extrude for like a minute and a half for no reason.
Well, I definitely have not had that issue.
I haven't, like, I've looked it up, and like it happened. It's happened like 3 times so far, maybe. So it's so inconsequential that I'm not like I need to spend hours figuring it out. But
No, it sounds like you need to reach out to Prusa's tech support guy.
I'd rather talk to that same old chain guy.
Just go through the forum, and then you can bug him officially.
Okay, so we got the rail clip and the light clip, so we're gonna save these. Lash your cares away.
Oh, there's a big chunk of steel in there.
Big chunk of steel. That was my nickname in high school.
Mine was just big chunk.
I mean, that's what they called me too, but I knew what they meant.
Oh, you added the steel part.
That's right. I have a black spot in my vision because I caught the laser full brunt.
Did you really?
Yeah. I mean, not like pointed at my eye. I was redoing some of the wiring and stuff, and I was working on the laser, and it was a situation where the laser was turned off in code. But the laser is, if it doesn't receive a signal on its like the TTL line that takes the pulse modulation, if it's receiving no signal, it goes full power. So I plugged the power into the laser.
That seems like a good feature.
Yeah, default to on. So I plugged it in and got full blast, and for the past week and a half, I've got this black dot just off center in my vision.
Oh,
I talked to somebody else that had a similar situation who said that his vision returned to normal after about a month. And it's only when I'm looking at something far away, not when I'm looking up close. But what'll happen is, like the other day, I walked into the washroom and I turned on the lights, and I looked at the sink, and then I looked from the sink over to the toilet, like they're side by side, and the dot was there, and in my mind, the dot darting across my vision as my eyes moved was actually a spider running across the sink.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, spiders everywhere. So I'm not concerned that I'm going to continue to see spiders everywhere. I'm concerned that I'm going to dismiss actual spiders.
Right. Oh, it's just that spot, and then they bite you in the face.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see how fast these pieces are going to print. I'm going to rotate you like this. You're fine the way you are.
Mike said that's an acid flashback, James.
Can you get flashbacks before you do the acid?
It's the Canadian acid, too, not even regular acid.
So it's an hour and a half to print one set.
No way.
That's at 0.2 millimeter height, though. We don't... Excuse me. Let's go to 0.3. And PETG, slice. That brings it down to 58 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Those little clips that I print for the gutter, I did 12 of them in 6 hours.
But yours don't have to go around the railing the way mine do, right? Yours are
No, they're not that big. No, yeah. They're only, like, the whole thing is 2 inches.
I mean, but the thing is, I can fill up the bed with probably, like, the clip fits inside the rectangle. So basically as many of the rectangles as I can fit onto the bed, which I think I can probably do 12 in one batch and then run them overnight.
Oh, and nest them inside of each other?
Exactly. So if I did a batch overnight tonight and a batch tomorrow while I'm working, then by the end of the day, I've got, probably 20, 24, that type of thing.
And then you'll be out in 40 centimeters of snow.
Well, see, we're going back above freezing for another week after this.
20 centimeters or 40 centimeters? How much snow are you expecting?
20 centimeters. Oh, I didn't reset the pie.
I was hoping for 20 centimeters, but we got 0.
That's what she said.
No, she said I was a 0.
She was hoping for a hero, she got a 0. It's like that song from the Hercules Disney movie. See, this is running a Pi 3, and I've had 2 Pi 3s fail, and they all start off the same way, where they just intermittently just stop connecting to everything.
You're connecting Wi-Fi?
What was that?
You're connecting Wi-Fi?
It doesn't matter if it's Wi-Fi or over Ethernet. It'll just not respond. But if I have a print running, it'll finish the print.
Yeah, see, I when I originally set up Octoprint way back in the day, I had a heck of a time with it dropping connection when it was Wi-Fi. As soon as I went Ethernet, it was fine.
Mm. So I've done some searching, and I from what I can gather, there is a set of Pi 3s, or maybe all Pi 3s have a potential issue where power management can fail. So the 2 dead Pis I've got no longer show 3.3 volts.
Huh. Weird.
So it is what it is.
Lars says you need a print mill and let it print the clips 24/7. A belt printer would be very handy for this.
I am tempted to design my own belt printer because I think it would be a fun challenge. It is something I was talking with people about. I started looking at, and this is not at all because I don't understand all the design challenges and this technology involved with it yet. So this isn't me pooping on Creality or anything like that. I was curious why a printer that is mostly the same parts as an Ender 3
is $700.
Is 700? Yeah, exactly. Is 3 times the cost. When the only additional thing is the fact that they've now added the belt system to it. Because other than that, everything should be like, I know it's not physically the same parts, but when it comes down to it, it's basically the same thing, right?
Yep.
So one of the people in one of my chats was talking, was like, I wouldn't worry about designing your own right now because as soon as Creality releases theirs, you're going to see the market get flooded.
Oh yeah, because everybody's going to copy it.
Yes, and probably significantly cheaper because they won't have to have done the R&D to figure out how to make it all work.
Well, and they want to sell them, but they'll also use cheaper parts.
Yes, absolutely.
Typically, you know. But,
so I was curious about converting something, well, one of like the other printers that I already have into something that can do belt printing, but I need to do some more research.
Yeah, I don't actually think that would be very hard to take like the I'm going to call it the CR10 frame.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what everybody uses now.
Well, my whole plan was to take the CR10 frame because we're probably thinking the same thing.
And just replace the Y. Just replace the Y with a belt instead of.
Replace the Y with a belt and also detach the upper frame or the A-frame from the entire thing. Print clips that put it on a 35 or 40 degree angle, and then it just slides into it, right? So you just basically take the frame and then tilt it back.
Right.
And then you got to figure out, like, you run into other stuff. The hot end positioning has to be different because the hot end has to be able to reach on an angle there without the carriage running into the belt, right? So there's some complications to figure out there, but
yeah.
So
I think it would be neat though if you just like, even if you didn't lay the thing back, why couldn't you have a belt printer with the Z-axis still up and down, and instead of the bed moving back and forth, the belt's moving back and forth, and then when it's done, it just slides forward and starts printing another one.
You definitely can, and there are companies that do that, where it's basically just designed to mill. It's not meant for infinite Z. It's just meant for repeating the same G code over and over again. And that is an easier design to come up with. However, I was going through it at some point. The problem is the amount, like how long the belt has to be to keep it right, because like you can't have something constantly rolling to the end and then coming back and like, partially detaching.
Right, yeah, because you wouldn't want it going off the bed, so it would have to be big. Dave said the belts cost a lot and the rollers are expensive, and some extra framing is needed since it's all on an angle.
My idea was to go pull rollers out of an old printer.
Like an old laser printer?
Yeah, or even an inkjet one, right? You usually have the two rollers that are like this with the paper between them.
Yeah.
But they probably have to be a bit beefier because of the angles you want to keep on the belt, right? You don't want to fold the belt too tightly over.
Yeah, like the diameter of the rollers would have to be fairly large.
Yes. So again, none of that is to insult Creality on what they're doing, because they spent the time and effort to develop it.
Bob S said, check out Paul Chase on YouTube. He has a Prusa Mini with a belted bed.
I will probably avoid looking up how other people have done it beforehand, because I don't want to get accused of ripping somebody off. Because my first instinct was to go and build something like the White Knight or whatever, but then I'm like, if I want to learn how it works, then there's nothing wrong from nothing wrong with starting from scratch.
Nope, that's why when I designed the FK1, I intentionally did not research what I wanted to do. I just did it. I was hoping that I would come up with something new and like thinking outside the box type deal. It works, but I don't know if it's going to be the next mainstream thing.
Okay, let's see if my PETG is going to stick now.
Hello, Sean Butler. About time you get here. 12
I didn't
minutes
change
before
the
it
sheet
started.
setting.
You didn't change what?
I didn't switch it from smooth to textured on the controls. Like, you have different offsets for your different
Right.
flexible beds.
I mean, I don't because I only have textured bed, but yeah. If I want to print it smooth, I have another printer for that.
What if you want to print it solid? Then there's only one choice.
I just called Dave. So then we're on for next week with Dave, right?
That's what he said.
This is Black Friday, so next Sunday. And then he can come on and like have last minute sales of stuff that he hasn't gotten rid of yet. I'm sorry to hear that, John. I was just giving you a hard time, man, but I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, three more. My hands hurt so bad from doing this.
Does the light part, does it not need to be turned 90 degrees?
The clip will lay on its back.
Yeah, I'm printing it like this.
Right.
And then this part's printing like this.
Yeah.
So I don't think Prusa came up, right? Like me slicing it didn't show up?
I don't think so.
Okay, I've got the slicer up right now, so
I don't usually watch what you're doing anyway.
That's fair. I don't watch what I'm doing either. I do this all with my eyes closed. The window capture, and then we'll add a Prusa slicer to it. There, so that's how I have it right now. And I'm just waiting for it to heat up because PETG likes hot temperatures.
It likes it hot.
Why would you have to worry about wearing pants? We film from the waist up. I'm from the Great White North, like up above the States. You've heard that Out for a Rip song, right?
What? I'm sorry?
You've heard the song Just Out for a Rip?
I don't know.
Just out for a rip, are you, bud? It's about Canada. It starts off by insulting you guys, though.
Oh, I probably wouldn't listen to it then. I don't like being insulted.
It starts off by going, I'm from the Great White North, like up above the States, that big landmass that the rest of the world hates. Well, we're like above that. Frickin' north, I guess. He doesn't say frickin', though. But I don't want you to get...
No, if it's got swear words in it, I definitely wouldn't listen to it.
You'll listen to what I tell you to listen to, and you'll like it.
All right, so I am not one to ever go and not admit my mistakes.
Did you make a mistake?
I did, and it's an epic one.
Xander!
I put these lights in backwards.
Oh, no. Is that the one you're so proud that you got done?
The pigtail is supposed to come in on this side. So I have to pull every one of these out and do them again.
You have 8 minutes.
I don't think I can get them out in 8 minutes.
Also, I didn't comment. Sean, I'm sorry about your pup. Sean and I have been talking offline. Although I am not the greatest person to chat with, I'm often gone for hours on end. My Facebook notifications don't actually work correctly.
I'm leaving Facebook. I've had enough.
Nadab says just clip the ends and then rewire them.
No, that's not an option. They're
you want to risk your house burning down for saving yourself the...
Well, they're sealed ends. It's just one side, one side's a male, one side's a female, so that they daisy chain together.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'll get them. It's my fault. What happened was, like, I had a plan, and then I started to ream it out, and then I got distracted by having shameless plugs. And now I'm getting unknown phone calls.
Oh, just bend it the other way.
Bend the arch the other way.
Yeah.
Well, I could always put it in the yard backwards. Just have the lights aiming towards the house instead of the street. It's all right. I'll chalk the first one up to being practice. I'm only human.
That is not sticking very well. That is disappointing. I hate PETG.
It's my favorite material.
Like, I don't think I've ever gotten to the point where it's like I had it printing consistently for a while. You know what I mean? Like, I get one print off and then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've gone through a lot of troubleshooting steps together, and have yet to figure out why it is that you struggle so hard.
Actually, this might have been okay. What I thought was peeling, I think, might have just been a little bit of stringing. Shouldn't have. I mean, it's coming off the bed awful easy, but.
If James had an FK1, he'd like PETG. Actually, that's an admission I will make too. That printer has never printed anything but PLA so far. I haven't tried anything else on it yet. As much as I love PETG, I just...
Okay, so this isn't at all meant to be insulting in case it comes off that way. Do you think you will ever print anything useful off of the FK1? Or was it an experiment for you?
Well, it was an experiment for me. It was so I could learn. But it does have a purpose. It's going to serve a purpose. And the main purpose was for doing cosplay parts. Which Uncle Ron and I are working on a joint venture right now that's where it's going to end up going, is cosplay. But
I have something I would get you to print off of it for me.
Yeah.
I have been working on a very detailed version of the Proton Pack from the Ghostbusters, like the original cartoon from the 80s.
Oh, that could be a lot of fun.
So printing that as one piece would be pretty awesome.
But no, I have a couple things slated. I mean, I have a project that is sponsored by IC3D that will be taking place sooner rather than later. Again, this is the time of year where everything shifts over to be Christmas light. Sometimes more than once.
Okay, let's try this again. I've very, very thoroughly scrubbed the bed.
Just because it's huge doesn't mean everything printed on it has to be huge. No, that is correct.
Imagine how many the clips you could print for your lights on it in one shot.
So I was going to say, sometimes it can just print a lot of something. But I mean, to print normal stuff on it is crazy because of having to heat that whole entire bed. It puts off so much heat. I mean, I can raise the temperature in the room a few degrees. Well, that one was really down in there. It's a shame I have to undo these. Stupid me. No dessert for me tonight. Sanders just said, huh? He heard dessert and got excited.
I just went to epicburn.com and it is, I was going to say a Chinese website. I can't guarantee it is. It is the Wuhan Zaijian Technology Company Limited. So I have Epic Burns. I wanted to see what was on Epic Burn. And it's not in English.
Is your website live?
There's a coming soon page there right now, so it's not launched. We just has it. Oh, there's a goober on my hot end.
I have a goober that sits at the desk in front of me.
They call him Xander because he's a goober. Blame Canada, blame Canada. They're all adept at spinning lies with all their beady little eyes.
Man, this hurts my heart.
What, hang out with me?
I made a mistake, so no dessert for Xander tonight.
Print it right, Prusa, I believe in you. I've also got like 5 rolls of white PETG left because I ordered a bunch in bulk when I was printing all those pieces of PPE. I printed like 1/3 of the PPE gear the group here or group in Ottawa, like out of all the stuff the Ottawa group put together, I think I printed 1/3 of them.
Wow.
I had, I think, 9 printers running simultaneously. I had to, I ran an extension cord out from the laundry room because it was on a breaker. Yeah. So I had 3 printers running off of that one, and then the other one's in the basement, and you could see it on our electric bill.
What brand of PETG is it?
It's Elements.ca, their version of the Master Spool.
And is it a nice white?
It's a pretty white. It's not like, I don't know. I don't know how to gauge what a nice white is.
Yeah, I use the this one back here is Hatchbox because it's such a brilliant white.
This is a pretty, like, this is like driven snow white. It's pretty pure. It looks even cleaner though because I 3D printed the spool holders for the fake master spool because I was informed afterwards that they're actually following the actual master spool guidelines. But I printed it in a piece of marble that I had left over because it wasn't really big enough to do anything else with. I was just using up what was left on some of the old rolls.
Yeah.
So I've got this pure white filament on this marble white, which has little black specks in it, so it just makes the white look even more white.
Yeah. Mike said that's a racist question, Glenn. Well, that's what we do around here. We ask all the raciest of racist questions.
Well, I'm offended. The keyboard for the Commodore Pi case is actually looking pretty good. I wasn't sure how well the individual keys were going to come out. I didn't put like lettering on any of them or anything like that, but they're fairly small, right?
We're still looking at your slicer.
That's fine.
I can't see
Oh, you
here. What are you talking about, though?
Here's my face. I don't have a camera pointed at it anyways. I'm just looking over and commenting.
Oh,
That's
so,
just
so it's just a commentary.
yeah. Trust me, my print looks real good.
I used to do time lapse, but now I just tell you about it.
It's a perfect 10 every time now. I was gonna get real technical with this Simon build that I was doing and have like an LCD screen that gives you information and other stuff. But that sounds like a lot of wiring.
Well, it's technically after 6 o'clock, but
That went by fast.
I'm still working, so I mean,
I'm gonna hang out for a couple layers, anyways, of the light holders.
yeah, I'll do a few more minutes. We can run a little late. We started a little late because of James. It's usually my fault. That's why I'm being so hard on James.
Making up for it. It's not usually. It's usually the two of us talking.
Well, it's usually that or a technical difficulty, which I thought was going to happen again when my mouse pointer didn't show up, but apparently my mouse had just gone to sleep.
So I was working on the code for the Simon game the other day, and the problem is I'm going to plug this in, and you can guess how much patience I had left by the end of the night. That's the test code running where it's generating the different tones.
Do they not have a more annoying piezo buzzer?
So, but then brilliant me, I was like, oh wait, I only need the lights anyway, so I just unplugged the ground from the speaker, and now it doesn't do anything other than light out. I sat there probably for an hour going, oh, this is so annoying. Why am I doing this to myself? And then I was like, oh wait.
Well, if you take a good piece of like heavy duct tape and put it over the top too, it'll mute it down real hard. I actually did that when I was assembling my Prusa so that my Prusa doesn't beep so loud.
You're getting demonetized for being too annoying.
Yeah, well, plus I think we just lost all the watchers that we had.
All the what?
All the watchers, everybody that was watching, they're all like, around. At least anybody that had headphones on.
Yeah, they're just good night, everybody. Oh, apparently somebody got Doom up and running on the Nintendo Game & Watch, which I spent too much money importing from the UK because I couldn't find any place in Canada that had it for pre-order. And then, like the day after I got it from the UK, it went up for sale on Amazon.ca for $40 less than I paid for it.
Ouch.
He's like, "Can you return it?" I'm like, "I have to ship it back to the UK, and I'd have to pay the shipping because, yeah."
Which would be like $100.
Yeah. So I was like, "No, that's okay."
Glenn Hoag's still here. Hadn't seen him chime in all night, but at least we know he was here. Hi, Glenn.
We have 3 thumbs down now.
That's all right. I'm sure we deserve it.
Okay, I just gave us an extra thumbs up. Because if you can't like yourself, who can you like?
If you can't like yourself, nobody else is gonna.
I think the other problem is this PETG has been sitting here exposed to air and moisture and whatnot since like June.
Yeah, it is a little hygroscopic.
I don't hear any popping though. But it is a little bit stringier than I remember it being.
All right, so this time we're going to put this end on this end and this end on this end. We're going to do it right the first time. So
but the second time.
I just want you guys to know that was just to teach you guys what not to do.
Yep.
But I do want to make it perfectly clear that I am human and I don't mind admitting my mistakes.
Because I'm only human. And I get drunk and I fall down. Oh, it's not flashing lights anymore. Is it still playing tones?
Oh well, my apologies, Glenn. I missed your original.
I don't know what the odds of this are, but you know how I disconnected the ground wire to the speaker?
Right.
When I dropped it down, it fell right into the power, the hole for the power. So I'm like, oh, the lights aren't flashing on it anymore. It's because it's been shorted out for 2 minutes.
New kit. Gonna have to order a new Arduino.
No, I took it back out and it immediately came back up, just in case you don't believe me.
Oh yeah, sounds like it's working.
Done. I'm gonna see if I can find a good song to play on it. Play music Arduino buzzer. Oh, here. Perfect.
Amazingly, these plug in a lot easier now.
Okay, so let's go open up the Arduino IDE. And I'm gonna, because I don't want to overwrite my Simon code.
No, that would be bad.
Where is it defining which pin will be? Looks like it's expecting it to be on 8. Which pin did I put on 11? Okay, so let's see if this works. I haven't pressed any of this code because I just stole it from somebody else. And we'll call it me. Can't set mask. What? I don't know. Oh, maybe it's Simon serial monitor. We'll close you. Tool. No, column 13. Right. Go. Pitches.h, no such file or directory.
Sean Butler said Imperial March. Yeah, that won't get us demonetized immediately, if not sooner. They'd probably just shoot us with the Death Star.
Dun 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 dun. I need to download the Pitches library. I wonder if it's in the library thing. Let's do tools, manage libraries. This one might include pitches.h. I installed it. We'll see what happens. No. Let's see.
Sean said I have like 3 videos on my channel, all of the R2 I'm building. One of them I tested music and it had a short bit of Imperial March. Next day I got a notice from YouTube. Yeah, they're quick. My favorite though is when you get a copyright strike from somebody and it's not even their music.
Okay, I put pitches.h in here. Why is it not?
You didn't put the right one in. You put the dog pitches in.
I'm gonna try. I don't know what to do here because I just want this to work for a second. This is a long way to go for a laugh. If that works. Okay, it did. That's terrible.
Yeah, I can't even tell what it is. I mean, besides deafening.
I wonder if because there's an active buzzer and a passive buzzer, and I don't really know what the difference between them is.
One's active and the other one's passive.
Thanks.
No problem. See, I told you I had some explaining to do.
You just did that just so we could get the name to make sense.
It just happened to work out that way.
I worked out. Okay, let's try it like. Where'd my ground wire go now? There it is. That's better. Do you recognize it now?
I do.
Talking away. I don't know what's left to say, but
Taking away all your monetization.
every day. I'm gonna put my Simon code back on it. Maybe it's less annoying now.
Maybe you had the buzzer set to the wrong one.
I just swapped the buzzer to the other type, yeah.
Actually, it is less annoying.
Because it sounds like it's playing a proper note.
Yeah.
I really like that one note, though. It's gonna make for some real boring gameplay if it gets five notes in a row. I guess I could put some logic in to make sure that there aren't patterns of more than two of the same.
Right.
Okay, it's back to being annoying. Unplugged. Oh, look at that. It's like halfway through printing the clip. Looks like it's still sticking and everything.
You printed just one, though, right? Like to
Yes.
check it?
No, I filled the whole thing.
Well, I mean, there are some times when you throw caution to the wind.
You and I have done that from time to time. It usually bites us in the butt.
Absolutely, it does.
I even said butt there for your precious monetization.
No, that's not anything to do with the monetization. That is to do with some of our audience. We have young ears. I mean, I don't, but the channel
I don't have
does.
anything left.
No, not much of me is young, other than my maturity level.
Credit to Maker Viking. I think he guessed Take on Me before I switched the speaker.
Really?
Because Bob Carney's then immediately commented, if it is, it's the worst version ever.
Well, I would agree with that. It was definitely the worst version ever.
Take on me.
Take my money. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how riveting was it to watch me do this all for the 2 hours?
I would have rather watched you do riveting.
Well, I have some riveting to do. I could arrange that for next week. The project for today was almost soldering.
I was planning to get all the coding done, or most of the coding done for Simon during this week's stream, and then I realized I hadn't done the lights. And Kayleen is quite right when she says that some of the stuff she wants done takes a back burner to other stuff that I'm trying to get done. So I was like, put her first on this.
Well,
she's always first, but some of the stuff that she wants me to do using the electronics I have in the basement sometimes takes a back seat. So.
Well, and Christmas lights are important anyway. It's going to bring hope to many in this troubled time.
We ordered a Christmas tree today. We don't really have room in our house for a Christmas tree, but Kay sold me on it because she's like, well, if we're making custom Christmas decorations for Christmas to sell, they're going to look better if they're hung in something when we take the pictures. I couldn't argue against that. So.
No, she's right. But really, you don't need the whole tree. You just need part of it.
Well, she found one that was half off, and it's a pencil Christmas tree, which I just learned is a thing, or is the name for the super thin ones.
Right.
$100, and it's pre-lit. And it's 7.5 feet.
Well, that's not too
7
bad.
feet.
Not too
And I was
bad.
like, I don't know.
That's not too bad at all.
I was like, I don't know how tall our ceilings are, but I'm assuming at least 8 feet, because I think 8 feet is the...
8 feet is typical here in the U.S.
I think that's the same here.
I know Canadians are shorter people, so...
Yeah, but nothing tops how short you're with your patience.
Well, I just want to say right now to any Canadians out there, I don't really mean that you're shorter. You're average height, just like the rest of us. Please do not fill my comments up with things about me saying Canadians are short. And I love the maple leaf.
I'm an abused co-host. He mistreats me behind the scenes. The one thing I didn't do in my pie video that I meant to do is show how. So this is the that's the Pi 400, right?
Yeah, somebody commented earlier asking when you were going to start designing cases for the Pi
I've got a
400.
couple of things that I've sort of like mapped out that I'm going to do for it. It is going to get some coverage, whether it's part of the Pi 26 ways or not. Okay, but so here's the interesting. This is the Pi 400. This is the keyboard with the integrated Raspberry Pi, and here is a actual keyboard that I have. That's a wireless keyboard.
Wow.
Look at that. It literally fits completely behind it. So I've got a keyboard that is of the same form factor that takes up more space than this keyboard with a built-in computer takes. So I rather like the Pi 400. I spent some time playing Oregon Trail on it for the Apple IIe because it ends up being like the perfect retro PC emulator.
But you got dysentery and died.
Yep. You actually watched my video.
I did. I usually watch your videos. I just don't always comment.
I watch your videos too, but I usually mute it when you've got one or two mistakes in it.
Oh, only one or two? There's usually a lot more than that.
That was the joke. You made a mistake or two?
It's usually a mistake that I made the video.
The one year we were hanging Christmas decorations, and Kayleen couldn't find what? The one year we were hanging Christmas decorations, and Kayleen couldn't find the twine to hang up. She's got these like metal signs that she hangs up, and one says like Merry Christmas, the other one says ho ho ho, and it's got like a little bell and stuff in it. But she found my roll of solder.
Oh
so
no!
She breaks off a piece of solder. She puts it through, twists it, hangs it up. We'd had some issues with stuff, so the day already wasn't going well. So I said to her, like, did you just use my solder to hang your Christmas decorations? She's like, yeah. Do you see a problem with that? And I was like, no, it should be. Don't see a problem with. Like 20 minutes later, the solder snaps and the stuff falls down.
I'm surprised it even made tying it up there.
It's well, I mean, the stuff wasn't super heavy, so. But I forget how thick the solder was. It was not super thick. Somebody just made a $50 donation to your stream, buddy.
No way! What?
L. Moses.
Oh, loyal Moses! Thank you, brother. That is great. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. That I really appreciate that. That I don't even know how to show my appreciation for that.
Now you have to keep going for at least another half hour.
Well, the good news is I finished my arch.
It went way faster the second time.
Yeah, they push in a lot easier once you break them little tabs off when you pull them out.
Just load the holes up with hot glue.
Yeah, no, there's still plenty. There's still plenty jammed in there. The casings are some type of a rubber.
One of these years, I think we'll get real fancy with our Christmas decorations.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my.
Well, my plan this year is to actually get a good video made. And it'll have to be on my personal channel, and it'll be unlisted, like the one that's a crappy video that I made. Just because then they can't really hit me for monetization. The worst thing that they can do is mute the audio. But I'm still the donation's still getting me. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, I think I tried to film the show, but I filmed it from across the street, and it didn't turn out real great. So I want to try to get different angles and actually edit it together so that it looks decent. But just to show off the amount of work that we do. And of course, the whole time we're doing it, I keep asking my wife, why do we do this? Because we definitely don't do it for us. I've seen the show, but I love to see how excited other people get. The car driving by yesterday and them clapping as we were putting it up was always exciting. But again, like I said, I don't know if it was for the Christmas lights or the fact that I actually mowed my grass. So it could be either one of those two. Well, I guess we could wrap this up.
Yeah, I said I was gonna stick around for the first layer, and it's like halfway through the first set.
Well, I just wanted to make it through that hoop. So you guys got a bonus 26 minutes, and it was a bonus to me with a $50 donation, which is amazing. My kids will be able to eat this week. It may have been a mock clap. I know they're making memes of people putting trees up before Thanksgiving. No, again, you guys have to understand, I don't light my lights until Friday, until Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. But it takes me a month to put them up. It's a month up and a month down for like a month and a week worth of show. So the amount of wire that runs across my yard is unbelievable. And then the amount of time that okay, so Thanksgiving's done. That's right. I can light it up now. Canadian Thanksgiving's over.
I saw 5 minutes ago, Bob Carney says one day we'll teach James how to pronounce things correctly. I'd like to know what I mispronounced. If he's still in chat.
Oh,
But Glenn, yeah, you can just say you're on the Canadian schedule, so.
It was probably a lot of things, James. You throw A on the end of a lot of things.
Oh, sorry about that.
You say things like a boot.
You're
that's what it's all a boot.
That's why it's all a boot.
But no, so I'm not actually lighting up my Christmas lights until after American Thanksgiving. But I have to have time to put them up. I'm usually actually out there on Thanksgiving still wiring stuff in. and running it. I'm going to teach Xander how to do the sequencing because he's got a passion for music. Ever since he was a wee lad, we always believed that he can see music. He would he's gonna hate me telling this story, but when he was little, he always had like not necessarily a dance, but like a hand motion for every song. And it didn't matter. Like the song, he could hear the song and then a year later hear it, and he would do the same little hand motion for it. And now I'm talking when he was like way back when he was like 13. No, he was probably like 5 or 6, if even that old. He might have been just like 3 or 4. But so, and you know, he's gotten into doing DJing and stuff on some of these online games that he's in. So I want to try him doing some of the sequencing because I think he would be good at that because he could visualize it, and that's what it takes. So, I
mispronounced his last name. Is it Carnes, not Carnes? What have I been saying? And what is it actually for the last name?
Well, it's 2 things. It's his last name, which I think is Carnes, but I could be wrong.
I might be saying Carnes. Carnes?
But also that other word. Say the other word.
Oregon?
Yeah, see, that's another one of those. Okay, so it is Carnes.
When did I say Oregon?
Well, I believe the game is Oregon Trail.
Oh, I forgot what you were talking about. What was I saying?
Well, I think that's actually the name of the game is Oregon Trail. But people from Oregon say Oregon different. Oregon. Maybe you said Oregon. There's no E at the end of. Oh, so it's Oregon? Like a heart or a liver? Oregon.
Oregon.
That's a southern people, Oregon.
I'm going to apologize for mispronouncing it, but I probably will not stop mispronouncing it.
Well, you know, and it's not only that, but you can never pick on somebody for the way they say something because chances are they learned how to say it by reading it. So, Oregon.
It's true. People from Ontario and near Toronto often pronounce it Toronto. Toronto. No Toronto. There's 3 of them.
Well, some people say Florida as Florida.
Florida.
But those are only the people that really know about this state.
People that spend time here know. This is the way.
This is the way. All right, guys, we really got to wrap it up because I do have some welding that I got to go do tonight. So,
using JB weld is just as strong as actual welding, right?
Sure. Under the right circumstances, sure. Under these circumstances, nope.
I don't know when I'm going to get a new computer chair, and one of the legs is broken on this. One of the solder points let go. Even though this chair is rated to hold double my weight, at some point, I was like, I don't have the proper stuff to weld, so I started looking up the tensile strength for JB Weld, and I would not trust it.
There's another. It's I think it's called Quick Steel, which is it comes like as a stick of putty, and you just cut it and start mashing it up. That stuff's pretty strong. The deck on my lawnmower started to pit through, and it was already too thin to weld it, so I just smeared some of that on there. Held up great. I wouldn't build a bridge out of it, but.
Well, I started thinking like it's 5 spokes, right? And one of the spokes, the weld points let go. So like, I started doing the calculations. I'm like, well, it looks like it should almost be strong enough to hold like the majority of my weight on its own, but like my weight's distributed across 5 legs, so I don't know.
Now 4 legs.
Now it's 4 legs. Well, the problem is they rotate around as I get up and down. So occasionally I'll go to sit and I'll be on that side and it just slides out from underneath me, and I'm like, so like I have to be so careful when I sit down in it now.
Oh, all right. Well, you got anything to plug?
If you guys have not gone and viewed that Arduino video, and you're interested in Arduino, watching the unboxing would be helpful to let Elegoo know that they didn't waste their time with me.
Well,
That's pretty much it.
even if you're not interested in Arduino, it's always fun to watch James screw stuff up. So
It's true. There are a bunch of things that I mistitled while I'm going through it, and I heard it the second time I watched it through. But once you've completed an unboxing, it's really difficult to, especially with so many things in there, it's really difficult to refilm an unboxing. So,
well, and see, that's what always makes me nervous with the Maker Box, because once I cut that, we're rolling. Like I can't go back and do it again. So yeah, it's always fun.
that's pretty much it. Go give it a thumbs up.
So really the biggest thing then to promote is next week. Definitely tune in and join us, because we are going to have a co-host, and that is going to be Dave from Printed Solid. So that should be a fun time. And you guys can ask questions in the chat if you want to, or if you are chat shy, you can email them to me ahead of time at Glenn with 2 N's at funking3d.com. I would prefer that's where you send them, because it'll be easier for me to keep track of them. And then I'm going to make fun of you and tell you not to be chat shy, because we're a good community and we like to talk to everybody. So other than that, I don't think that I have anything to promote. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's in the U.S. Belated Happy Thanksgiving to anybody that's in Canada. And no or I guess just Happy Thursday to anybody that's somewhere else. But please, everybody out there, be safe. Avoid your family, not because of Corona, but just because generally family's kind of a pain in the butt.
And you have an excuse this year.
Well, it's the excuse I use. I didn't say that. Yeah, other than that, definitely tune in next week, 4 p.m. on Sunday, as always, right here on Fun King 3D. And give Dave a hard time. That's totally allowed. We have no problem with that. Dave actually said that you can ask him as personal of questions as you want. That's completely acceptable. No, I probably shouldn't have said that. This is going to go off the rails. So, but Mike says he's watching commercials on your channel now. So, but thank you guys. Thanks to each and every one of you guys for showing up and watching this stream. A huge, huge, huge thank you to Loyal Moses. I honestly, I just cannot express my appreciation enough to you. That is super generous, and it means the world to me. Every bit that comes in somehow goes back into the channel, and doesn't necessarily support my Coke habit.
Yeah.
See what I did there? And so thank you guys for tuning in. We will definitely see you all next week. I've been a little bit quiet on the social media just because I don't like what's going on in the world today. There's a lot of people being mean to other people, and I don't like people being mean to people. So, but I still pop through on the Twitters as often as I can. Otherwise, I got nothing. We love each and every one of you guys. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And as always, until next time,
Print on.